What's up? How you doing? Beautiful day today. A little bit hot, a little bit, but nice. We have a breeze coming through. It's dry, and behind me, you see a portion of Pyramid Lake. Good fishing here. I'm a big fan of that show, Alone. Love that show. Every time they announce a new season, I'm very excited. I watch everything on that show, but I've come to the conclusion after watching many seasons that 100 days is pretty much the limit. Even if you're that good, even if you're the best, 100 days, 3 months. After that, you'll probably end up dying of starvation. You lose too much weight, and or you'll die of an accident. That's why I've never seen anybody go 4, 5, 6 months. About 100 days, that's the maximum. And then they're rescued. The food, hard to find food, that's the problem. And a lot of guys, loneliness. They have to get back to their families, and so the psychological thing gets to them. I find that the females are stronger, mentally at least. So I'm always rooting for the female to win. And this time, it almost happened. 57-year-old female almost won. She came in second. I really thought she was going to make it, but yeah, 57 years old, that's pretty good. The guy that won, I think he was like 30, 31, big difference from 30 to 57, so she did really well. Very proud of her. It's an amazing thing to do at that age, but it's very difficult to find food, especially once the cold weather comes, the snow comes. It's like, what's around then? Not even birds. Fish, no fish. Fish go way deep. Maybe a rabbit here and there. How are you gonna get a rabbit? And some of them brought bow and arrows. You're limited on the arrows. You tend to lose them. To lose an arrow, it's very hard to find. Now, I'm a fan of this. Always been a fan of this. Slingshot. Ever since I was that big, I've been using a slingshot. My father made me my first one in 1974 out of wood. But you know, even with a slingshot, you have to get round rocks, really round rocks, otherwise they curve on you and you won't hit anything. But if I have a slingshot and they drop me off in the middle of nowhere, I could survive for a while. You know, I'll be eating sparrows all day. And why? Because I love Beretta. Keep your eye on the sparrow when the going gets rough and narrow, or even tough and narrow. Either way, becomes narrow. But sparrows, maybe quail, a couple of pigeons. Not a fan of rodents. I don't know, I'd have to be very hungry to eat a rat, and very hungry if I were to eat a skunk. I don't know if I could eat a skunk, and I don't even know if a skunk is a rodent, but same idea. Squirrels, I see people cooking squirrels. I don't know. They don't look appealing to me. But when you're hungry, like if it was 1940 right now and I was in Europe, I would eat a raccoon or a rat, a fried rat with tomato sauce. If this was 1940 and I was in Europe, because there was really no food back then for a lot of people. But if I could go to I don't know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or I can kill a rat and eat it, I'll take the chicken. But yeah, I love that show. And now they have Alone Frozen, and another one where it's like Alone, where they show you ways to survive. But no matter how good you are, about 3 months, that's it. Then you run out of gas. And the strategy, don't go in there in good shape. I mean, don't go in there, you know, cut and vascular and, you know, muscular and all that nonsense. Go in there 50, 60 pounds overweight. You get a better shot of making it than if you're a twig. See, these guys are all spindly, you know, all muscular. Those are the guys that go home to their moms like within 3 weeks. The other guys that plan it out, that gain 60 pounds eating donuts, those are the ones that go on for a while, because you self-cannibalize, and it allows you to go another month or maybe even longer. So yeah, slingshots. This one is made out of metal. I have to change the band, or the bands, but there's only, there's a couple bands, bands, because they're getting a little bit beaten up. And these are medium grade. I got some heavy duty ones I bought. They're really hard to pull back. I don't know, there's pros and cons on the heavy duty. Heavy duty is like really exhausting after a while, where these, you can do that all day, but they don't generate the velocity. But yeah, I love these. When I was a kid and we would go to Maine, I always had slingshots in my back pocket, because the place we would go had a forest, a big forest in the back, and I would disappear in that forest. I was little, nobody cared. Maybe they were thinking, let him go, maybe he won't come back, don't have to feed him, because they read that Hansel and Gretel story, and they didn't want to be responsible for that kind of scenario. But maybe if I went off on my own, it was okay. But yeah, I didn't really hunt animals with this ever. And I say really, but I never did. I used to aim at trees from a distance. That was my thing, hit trees, or there was a little stream that went by in that forest that I found, and I would aim in there. But I always had a pair of slingshots, or a slingshot. Can you get a slingshot? Slingshots, I don't know. So yeah, and this one has a little aiming thing there. I don't know if you could see that right there. So you basically, you put it there and release it. But I used to shoot these things with rocks, and after maybe 15 feet, the rock starts to curve. Now I have like marbles made out of clay, and they disintegrate over time. So when I'm shooting these in my backyard, they last a little bit, then it rains and they break up into mud. They disappear. If you use the stainless steel ones, you'll have stainless steel marbles all over your yard, and if your grandmother comes to visit, she'll fall on her back, because they're very, they're very slippery, like ball bearings. So that's it. I thank the producers of the show Alone. Just to let you know, I love that show. Can't get enough. If I were younger, maybe single, maybe I would do it. But I can do everything on that show except hunt. I've never hunted, so I don't know what I would eat. Pine needles. I don't have experience hunting. I could fish. I could fish a little bit, but hunting, forget about the actual killing of the animal. Let's forget about that for a second. I wouldn't know what to do with it after. You have to get it, clean it out, remove the fur. I don't know how to do any of that. I'd have to go to a school where they teach you the survivalist tactics, and then maybe I could do something like that. But right now, if they put me in the middle of nowhere, I would survive as long as I had the energy. But when it came down to eating, unless there was a river, with a lot of fish in that river, I probably wouldn't make it that long. So that's my weakness. No hunting skills. All the other stuff, though, I can do. And the loneliness thing, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I can take isolation. I can take isolation. Anyway, that's it. Time to go.